thinking about, especially given all of the ETH or pulse chain like FUD and stuff. At first, I was, back in May, upset like everyone, but I've kind of been really pleased and happy that it's been pushed back, because it has been able to allow me and everyone else to get your Hedron and Icosa positions like figured out in one place before the split that matters happens.
He
So,
he had no choice though, because what was like it was ready to go,
oh
but
yeah,
then
I'm not saying
he finally came out with 2.0, and they had problems with the gas side of the BNB. It wasn't making sense, and then it could be hacked once it got to your turn and the node to go around and the rotation. So they were having issues, and so they were ready to go, but he had to make the decision because ETH 2.0 came out with a code and it's out, so he's going to go from there. And he's like changing the gas and stuff, as he explains to the Ivan and Tech.
sure.
I don't know why he doesn't explain to people like Crypto Coffee. That was quite a good interview with Ivan and Tech, but he when he went into details. But yeah, it's interesting that he doesn't explain it to like
Never thought about
Crypto Coffee and his stuff in our
that.
stream.
Yeah.
In 5 minutes he was explaining what was happening. But yeah,
I'm just saying, like, the god of timing, like, whatever, the devs were working, and it just ended up being fortunate, at least for me, that I have been able to, get positions I'm happy with in all these pools, and I'm happy that they're gonna get copied over whenever, and it can happen whenever, because I'm in the pools and I'm ready. Uh, so I think that was actually a good thing. At least if you're a Hedron, like kind of Icosa max kind of person.
So you guys aren't necessarily planning on bidding?
I will. I mean, depends on. I'll keep my eyes open. I am expecting it to be crazy, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of deals on the table. But if there are, yeah, I'll participate. I have liquid ready to do that if that's the case, but I don't think it's going to be the deal everyone think it is. But hey, I'd be happy to be proven wrong.
Yeah, I'd be happy if there's no deals. Long term, I think that's a good option.
Right.
Get some Hedron burned.
Or
That's kind of
bring the Hedron price up to the point where the min bid is the fair bid that no one would bid over. That'd be cool too.
Yes. I don't believe so. I haven't heard that. That'd be really interesting if that was the case. I don't know how it would be the case.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work. I don't know how people would bid as individuals with their own accounts without having to pay gas. I don't know how that would work. I'm pretty sure it's going to be each person, paying for their own transactions. I want to also hear on if there's people that have thoughts on Icosa parity during the HSIs, if they think it's going to remain or if it's going to break below, and if that has any consequences.
yeah, that's certainly out of my wheelhouse.
I mean, I think the argument a lot of people talk about in here in regards to that is they look at the liquidity pool, especially the Hex Icosa liquidity pool, and how strong the and tight the band is around the that arbitrage price. And I guess you could honestly look. Are you familiar with this chart, Maxim?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think you look at it and it responds really well versus the hex share rate moving. But you're right. That's the big question. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if it can remain, I think that's really, really bullish. I'm skeptical that it will be able to remain. I think the incentive for people to pull liquidity and stake is going to be very high because they're going to recognize, I think most people recognize the returns during the HSI auctions are going to be very high. Incentive to provide liquidity is probably going to be low. And I think that we already have, as a portion of total Icosa supply, it's relatively low on the market already. And I'm curious if it's going to sustain very well. But I don't know, that's on my mind because I think there's a lot of, I think the HSI auctions are going to be forced to almost go for their value if Icosa parity remains, because people can, I think they'll be able to recycle the HSIs. So if they pay $7,000 in Hedron for a $10,000 HSI, they can take that HSI, give it to the Icosa buyback, profit, buy more Hedron, and keep doing that until the Hedron value does match the HSI value. And then that's also going to encourage and make very likely the next big HSI days, 90 days from these auctions, if people can use the HSI buyback, if it remains parity, we'll have another cycle of this happen. But if the parity breaks, I think it's going to, depending on how much it breaks, I think it's going to discourage people from using the HSI buyback, and it may be, not as bullish as otherwise for the second round. What do you think, Jim Rat?
I'm trying to figure out that dude's tag so I can block him.
He's living in your mind, man.
No, he's not. I saw that comment 2 minutes ago, and I'm going to block him for the rest of eternity in about 2 more minutes. And I'll never have to deal with his retarded ass again. It's upsetting to me that dude is like that, though, because I used to think, to be honest, if you look at this stuff all day, like arbitraging these numbers, it is not super difficult. Now, it is a lot of nuance there for sure. But like, I just listen to this shit because I like to listen to it. Like, and then he's just gonna say shit like that. I watched like 2 of his fucking videos, and I'm gonna make sure I block him and never talk. That's the only reason I'm in here. I spreadsheet all these numbers with Sam. Like, we love this shit. But as far as the auctions, man, I'm just excited. I think having liquid is somewhat important in case of like crazy price appreciation. If you like are thinking about, I don't know, I've been thinking like that a lot lately. So I guess that's not great advice in everyone's scenario. But I have a lot of my stuff staked in different pools, and I've participated in all of the events up to this point. So I'm pretty much like in the little god mode. Like I got my little hands and all those in the Watsa basket, which I'm excited about. So I just want everyone to just like don't put all your eggs in one basket. There's a lot going on, and I don't think any of these ratios are going to run away from us overnight. I think they will. Some of them will pump out for sure because of the supply shock. But if you're actually in here just kind of like trying to figure out what's up, like don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like it's complicated when it comes to volume, liquidity. But again, I'm super excited about all this shit. Like I'm like fucking super stoked on it.
I'm asking people what they think of the Icosa parity. Do they think that's going to remain?
With what coin?
Yeah, good question. The hex to, I'm getting some good echo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that me?
I think it's you. So the Hex Icosa parity, basically what is needed, as I see it, for people to use the HSI buyback. I see it possible that people start using it and the Icosa parity is broken. The HSI buyback is basically broken.
I kind of know what you're saying now. Like, I'm not participating heavily enough on like any of the moves. I like holding a lot of the assets, but I don't. Some of these things when it comes to the supply and like, well, let me think about what you're asking exactly. So with the HSI buybacks, what I think is going to happen with the Icosa price is nothing explosive. Like, I don't see the Icosa price moving at a rate. It'll move up, and people have a lot of it, and the liquidity is pretty dense for a coin in with the supply that it has. And I but a lot of it comes down to like, how in this system, like sometime in all these systems that we use, sometimes like a lot of the people with the big wallets kind of like do things in a way that's like somewhat favorable for everyone to like feel comfortable. Like generally they can manipulate a lot of these things with their own action. And so far what everything I've seen from Alex is just smooth. Like it's smooth, so I kind of go off Alex and what I've seen before of him, and I'm hoping that like some of those numbers, when it comes to the arbitrage, you could say everything about Icosa, but I love, and I don't know enough about like Icosa price movement comparatively, but I think if Hex starts running, like if Hex went to 10 cents for some reason, I think the only thing keeping Hex up right now is Hedron. Not like that it would go down to like 0.00 something, but like I think 2.1, 2.7, but like Hedron is pulling that bitch because people like me and my boys are like buying Hedron. Like we're not buying Hex. And I'm not saying all at this moment, but I'm saying like over the last month, 2 months, 3 months, like there's a lot of pressure in there. I almost don't even know how to call it. Like between the nuance of people understanding and it's like, you know what I mean? So when it comes to the price speculation, I'm not excited about Icosa as far as upside. I'm excited about Hedron as far as upside. But if Hex runs, all bets are off. Like, but I don't know enough, I guess, about the HSI auctions. But I did have a question. Are they on all the chains where the same address is linked? Like the two ETH new chains where it would just be a system state copy?
Are you asking if the new chains are going to continue on from where we're at now?
No, if they're just gonna have Icosa and like if there's a front end up and shit stuff. Like I know the rates will all be different for everything on the ETH-W and ETH Fair. You guys might not look at that stuff too. I have no idea who like what y'all look at. But anyway, find out who that guy is for me. And I like the chat, guys. I'll come in here more often. Peace.
What's up,
Thanks
Max?
for spreading.
Nice,
Your
nice
videos
to
are
finally
awesome
meet
too, Maxim.
Yeah, guys. Glad to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to see you.
I'm gonna leave and come right back. I gotta change my speaker output.